Welcome to Feature Fridays. My name is Guy Bartram. I'm Director of Product Marketing in our Cloud Services BU. And today I'm joined by Sashi again. Sashi, please introduce yourself.
Hi, Guy. Thank you. I am Sachi. I am Technical Product Manager with VMware, focusing on Tanzu and developer-ready cloud for our cloud providers.
Cool. And we have an announcement that, well, it's already been announced, but we have something to talk about today, which is new and funky, which is all to do with dev-ready cloud and delivering applications. And that's the App Launchpad SaaS version, right?
Yes, that is correct. That's what we are going to talk about. And we will look at how a provider can use App Launchpad SaaS through Cloud Partner Navigator and provide the same level of service through the SaaS model.
Yeah, excellent. So for the providers who've got it on-prem already and know how it kind of acts and behaves, this is going to be pretty seamless for them. They're going to already understand this, aren't they? Apart from the additional kind of navigator pieces.
That is correct. Other than, so the new pieces are about how to onboard a customer and tenant through Cloud Partner Navigator, but ALP as a service provides pretty seamless user experience to provider. And there are a couple of enhancements that I'm excited to share about. So we can get started.
Yeah, sure. Let's dig into it.
Okay. So we know the vision of a developer-ready cloud for our cloud providers. So we are focusing on the second piece of developer experience, where we want our developer to have very modern experience where they can deploy and manage their applications with one click and automate the experience using Terraform. And we are leveraging the modern infrastructure with container service extension and TKG, and for the vSphere Kubernetes with Tanzu Basic. So we will be looking at the bottom two pieces today, how App Launchpad is going to deploy a container, and what's the developer experience for the provider and for the customers. So to provide a quick recap, when App Launchpad first started, we came up with this very modern, unique experience for our developers, where they can just select any application and click an application without looking at underlying infrastructure and just deploy it by clicking on launch when using the App Launchpad as an extension. We extended that support, and we enhanced it so that now it's easier for the providers to integrate Cloud Marketplace within VMware Cloud Director. And we also introduced container as service by integrating with container service extension and Tanzu, where once the Kubernetes cluster is deployed through container service extension or Tanzu based Kubernetes cluster, we can just select any of those cluster and deploy any container based app through App Launchpad, and just get the IP in automated fashion, and then just expose a service through App Launchpad. And the next one is that we are going to talk today is about App Launchpad SaaS version, which is we don't have to install App Launchpad extension on each and every VMware Cloud Director on-prem or on the VMC. As well as we also introduced support for VMC SDDC. So customer can now deploy any application on VMware Cloud SDDC infrastructure if they have dedicated SDDC and they are not using VMware Cloud Director for any reason.
Right. So this is basically a completely SaaS oriented solution now. It's still, let's be absolutely clear, at the moment, there is ALP on-prem and there's ALP SaaS.
Yes.
And in the future, we might be moving to a SaaS-only model, right?
Yes. So right now, we have a use case for on-prem extension as well, where we don't want to consume SaaS based model. So for that, we can still go and continue use extension for the on-prem scenario. And as of now, ALP SaaS is targeting cloud endpoints like Cloud Director service, individual SDDCs that are available on the VMware Cloud.
Got it.
But feature-wise, the end goal is to have both of them at parity, and for provider, it will be seamless experience if they are using on-prem or the SaaS version.
Okay.
All right. So let's look at what is ALP SaaS now. So now with ALP SaaS, we don't have to install App Launchpad as an extension for each and every VCD or CDS instance the provider might have. And you can also deploy applications on VMware Cloud on AWS on the vSphere infrastructure directly. We don't need VCD to deploy the applications for customer. And we also support VM and container deployment as long as we have a container service extension installed and set up on the cloud endpoint that we are interested in. And the main catalog, the main enhancement I would like to introduce here is that we create and maintain the global catalog. And what it means is provider will create the catalog on ALP SaaS and then expose it to each and every cloud endpoint. So it can be published to multiple cloud endpoint through the service. So we don't have to go and manage for each and every instance individually.
Sashi, so if I've got Cloud Director on premise, I can use ALP today. And if I want to maintain in the future segregation from connectivity to SaaS services, I can carry on using that. If I have VMware Cloud and AWS, I can now use ALP SaaS as a value-added delivery mechanism to my customers for delivering the dev-ready cloud solutions and applications from the marketplace, and also my own applications or the customer's applications. How about if I've got Cloud Director service on VMware Cloud on AWS?
Yes, so you can also select Cloud Director service as an endpoint. So through Cloud Partner Navigator, we will identify which cloud endpoints you want to publish these, enable, first of all, which cloud endpoints you want to publish this ALP SaaS to, ALP as a service to, and you can also select which customer organization. We can go to that granular level, that on which customers you want to publish those catalogs to, on which CDS.
But previously it was an extension within Cloud Director. Now it's not within Cloud Director, it's a SaaS application sitting by itself. So is it a separate user experience then that someone would have to come out of Cloud Director service and go into the SaaS ALP service?
So as an end user, it's seamless, because if end customer is accessing App Launchpad, it doesn't matter what how we are exposing it through, like it can be ALP SaaS or it can be extension. So for end user, it doesn't, the user experience is pretty much the same.
Oh, okay, great. So because you said we don't deploy any extension now, so this is kind of automatically available then, is that right, in CDS?
Yes, that is the value add from what we are trying to achieve here.
Awesome. Okay, great. Well, I look forward to seeing that.
Yeah. So let's look at what are the main value adds here for ALP SaaS. First is, like we talked, global application catalog is there. So provider can create multiple catalogs when they create, enable ALP SaaS on Cloud Partner Navigator. And then all the catalogs will be maintained through this service. So we don't have to go on each and every cloud VCD instances to go and manage those catalogs.
Mhm.
And you can publish those catalogs to one or more cloud endpoints. We will look at that in the demo. So it becomes very easy for provider to come in one place and create and manage all the catalogs for every customer. The second is fully managed RBAC. So the user access for tenant user and tenant admin is also managed through Cloud Partner Navigator. So everything for ALP SaaS is managed through Cloud Partner Navigator. And the users and roles are created in advance for the service. So provider just have to select which user is going to get which type of RBAC. So you don't have to go and create separate roles for ALP SaaS on CPN. When we assign the create the roles or assign the user roles within the Cloud Partner Navigator, it is going to relate to the roles on the cloud endpoints when customer is enabled for so and so role.
Okay, got it.
Yeah. The third one is native ALP service for customers. So here is very powerful user experience for provider, that once we create and enable service for ALP SaaS, they can create catalog, add applications to the catalog. They can set up default settings for different infrastructure. And then those things are done in advance. So when a customer is onboarding on a new, say, CDS, or they are signing up for a new SDDC, they will not have any, like, they will get those services on day zero. So provider can now well plan all the applications and catalog on ALP SaaS, and then it becomes a day zero service versus where we individually go and install ALP as an extension on each and every VCD instance.
Excellent.
And the third one is multiple cloud endpoints. So I am pretty excited that we are also going to allow applications to be deployed on SDDC in addition to CDS.
Yeah,
so
brilliant.
they have all kinds of options to select from. Yeah, what are the prerequisites? So these are standard prerequisites for any service to be given to customers on the Cloud Partner Navigator, where provider has to create those user roles. Provider has to create the customer organization. They have to add the valid cloud endpoints, and they have to create a CDS associate SDDC with CDI instance. These are standard practices that a provider has to do before they can actually use ALP SaaS and start offering services. So it's a like summary of what provider admin is going to do on which platform. So this is for all the Cloud Partner Navigator platform, and this is on the VMware Cloud. Yeah, we may get a question like, can we access this service through VMC? No, we are only offering it through Cloud Partner Navigator.
Yeah.
So on a high level, these are the 5 steps provider is going to perform. Enable service. This is one-time operation for provider, where they click on that ALP icon and then just launch the service. Add the cloud endpoints and create a catalog. Add the applications. It can be VM or container-based applications. And in the end, just create a sizing templates. So this.
So it's actually, let me just, well, actually, it's relevant to this slide as well, I think. From a standpoint of the provider needs to have an MSP agreement in place to have access to Navigator. So they need to have signed a zero cost agreement for Navigator access.
Yes.
They also need an MSP agreement for ALP SaaS and it's a zero cost as well. Is that correct?
Yes, there is no additional cost to this service.
So they'll need 2 MSP contracts, one for Navigator and one for ALP SaaS.
Yes.
Okay, that's great. And the applications that they can service through SaaS, like the Bitnami portfolio, for example, the Bitnami, I mean, it's the community catalog, that's also zero cost.
That is correct.
Okay, so if you're a provider out there and you're looking to do more or deliver more portfolio solutions to your customers, then here is a really quick way to deliver 180 plus validated, tested applications from Bitnami with zero cost to you.
That is correct. Not to mention all the Helm chart repositories we have as well.
Sure. And then is what I like about this is it's kind of full cycle. You're giving the developers some of the tools for their pipeline operations, like Jenkins and things like that, from Bitnami. And when they're kicking out then their codes and their applications, you can then take those applications and take the Helm charts and publish back into ALP. So then the organization, if they're consuming their own applications, for example, then their consumers can then just click deploy their applications.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's really nice.
Yeah, and with Helm chart, we support multiple repositories, so it's not that we are constrained to one repository. So we can have multiple, and then provider can have a granular control over which apps to publish to which customers as well. So if provider is deciding to have a limited set of applications within a repository, it is possible to do through App Launchpad as well.
Brilliant.
And here is the user experience for when a provider admin is onboarding App Launchpad service. This is kind of one-time steps where we click on open and provide first time all the parameters. So I just took a screenshot and I'm just going through them. So here we can see that we first onboard the cloud resources. So here you define the SDDCs and your cloud endpoints. You can add additional cloud endpoints later as well. But to get started, we need some resources. The second one is we add the Helm chart repository connection to cloud marketplace, etc. And then third one is you import the apps, and then this is pretty standard workflow for App Launchpad for on-prem version as well. So this is going to be very easy for cloud provider when they are doing this.
So just a quick question then. So we've got access to the Bitnami community catalog. We've got access to Cloud Marketplace, and you've got access to Helm repositories as well. The Cloud Marketplace is obviously third-party vendors publishing their services like Veeam, for example, in the Cloud Marketplace. We would then need a commercial agreement if necessary, if there is a cost associated with that marketplace item. We'd need that commercially to be done with the marketplace vendor separately before we could then utilize that. I mean, you're bound by their commercial agreements essentially, right?
Yes. So yeah, that is correct. For those third-party applications, the only thing we will do is to provide those OVAs through Cloud Marketplace and through the App Launchpad, but additional cost or licenses that requires a separate workflow for that.
Yeah. So basically, what we're going to enable then is, the Bitnami stuff's, delivered. It's zero cost. But the Cloud Marketplace stuff is also delivered, using exactly the same methodology.
Yeah.
But when you deploy that OVA, there's going to be a cost that you're going to need to pay, or a license key you're going to need to get from the vendor.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And everything is available. Even the Bitnami catalog is available through Cloud Marketplace. So for provider, importing an application is going to be through Cloud Marketplace. Everything is in one place in the Cloud Marketplace.
Yeah. Okay.
And for the customers, it's just two-step process that when a new customer is onboarding, you enable service for that customer. When we have a new customer organization in the Cloud Partner Navigator, and you provide the access to that user or customer. So in nutshell, it looks like this. We select open to see how the user experience is going to be for the app launchpad for the customer. When manage customer access is going to grant access with the different roles, whether it be tenant admin or the tenant user.
Yeah.
And each customer, it's just 2-click process. So it's yeah.
So if I've got Cloud Director service and I've got, I don't know, let's take Acme organization and they're my customer. And I want to now enable them for App Launchpad. In CDS, they would already be listed as a tenant of the CDS solution because they would be all done through provision through Navigator in that respect.
Yes.
So in that case, like Navigator kind of knows everything about all my tenants for all my services. So it's the kind of ideal spot then to do this customer onboarding.
That is correct.
Yeah.
So that is part of the prerequisites, that everything is taken care in terms of like customer has access to CDS, to the organization with the right assigned roles. App Launchpad is just going to add its user level roles like tenant admin or tenant user.
Yeah, sure. So for the folks out there who maybe haven't seen Navigator yet, it is exactly what it says, right? It's navigating to all these different applications for you.
Yes.
And all these different cloud endpoints.
Yeah.
And whereas in VCD today, you'd be used to setting up your tenant and your orgs in VCD. In the SaaS world, you do that through Navigator, and then you do all the configuration of those tenants within VCD. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
And I'll quickly go over provider admin roles. So their job is to create and manage catalog, add and manage application templates, and then provide the configuration or manage the tenant's configuration. And for the tenant user, we have 3 users. One is tenant admin, who is going to see all the workloads within the tenant organization. They can launch applications for different users, and they can deploy container-based workload on existing Kubernetes clusters. Tenant user is going to launch any application, and they are also going to view only their own applications. They won't see other users' application. And then there are some users who are going to just look at the app, going to access the app. So that role is also available.
Yeah.
And I quickly wanted to actually show how to get support for App Launchpad SaaS. So one way is within Cloud Partner Navigator, you can select VMware App Launchpad service. And the second way is by providing the customer incident to the engineering through the service desk.
Okay. And again, this is all normal Navigator stuff, right?
Yes. Yes. So in-app is normal Navigator related. And I think for all the SaaS applications, we have similar workflow. So it's not something new. Yeah. I will navigate to demo now. So I am going to log in as a provider administrator into the providers org. I will show what I have set up already. So this is my Cloud Partner Navigator console. Here I will see all my organization. So this is my organization right now where I'm logged into, and these are my different customers and their organization.
Yep.
And these are my different cloud endpoints that we were talking about. So I already have AWS instance associated. I have a couple of CDS instances, and these are all prepared with, they are associated to their own SDDCs. And I have I have what do we call it? Created customer organizations and whatnot.
Okay.
And over here in the customer management, I have different customers set up, and then each customers is going to have different endpoints. So this is a quick recap on like which customer is going to have access to which cloud endpoint.
Mm-hmm.
And coming to App Launchpad, I have set up my App Launchpad service. So once I click on open, we will navigate to App Launchpad service. And over here, let me go in this. So this is my dashboard for the App Launchpad, where we will see how many customers are using App Launchpad, how many applications are available in the catalog, what are my resources. Resources are nothing but cloud endpoints, and top customers, all the statistics, the standard stuff. And the content management is similar to what we have for on-prem as well. So we can select to catalog. Okay, let's start with the catalogs. So here is the n number of catalogs we have created.
Mm-hmm.
We can add and manage applications to that through Cloud Marketplace. You can add it to featured applications, so they can be featured in customer org. And these are the different settings for sizing.
Yep.
So you can select a default size for a customer for VM-based application, and they can see multiple sizes as well.
Yep.
For each cloud endpoints, you will set up the deployment settings. So here, this Acme customer is having SDDC as their endpoint. So over here, we are going to provide some default parameters, default profile, default network, things like that. So you can see we can set default settings for SDDC. I've already set it up.
Mm-hmm.
And for so these are the default deployment settings. You can create different categories and assign it to these applications. So if you want to mark some applications with specific tag, you can use that, and then you can use it for your own tracking, that how many applications are deployed to, for example, Bitnami catalog, how many analytics related apps are being deployed. So you can do your own analysis based on these categories and use it for multiple purpose. One could be for billing or whatever. I mean, just giving ideas here.
Yeah.
And here we can also create custom fields that you can add to the application. So here also we can, this is also very powerful, where you can set this for per organization level, that how many applications are deployed within that organization. The usual ones, the Cloud Marketplace connection, API authentication token from the provider's account, that is used to link the Cloud Marketplace, the Helmchart repositories, and here you can add additional cloud resources. So if there are more customers and you are expanding different CDS instances, you can add more over here, or you can decide to activate or deactivate those for App Launchpad as service. So once we do that, these instances are going to have it App Launchpad as an organization created to download the local catalogs once you publish them.
Yeah.
And here is for activity logs and standard process. Now let's look at.
So currently that looks pretty similar to the existing on-prem version.
Exactly.
Apart from there's a couple of additional cloud endpoints.
Exactly. So it's very seamless, I feel. Good. If you have used App Launchpad for on-prem extension, this is even easier because we are now using it as a service.
Mhm.
Now let's look at one of the customer organizations, and I will log into um, one of the organizations as a the customer tenant admin role.
Okay.
For the tenant admin, you can log in to App Launchpad service, and we can see all the list of applications, and we can see all the user experience is same for consumer or the end user, whether it be tenant admin or the user. The additional things to notice here is that we can see different cloud endpoints where we can
Oh yeah.
deploy these apps.
Mhm.
And if it's a Kubernetes or a container-based app or a VM-based app, so wherever it's a container, you can see the Kubernetes icon over here.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
we can also see all the categories of the application. And
Oh yeah.
we can, like before, we can see all the details of the applications as well.
So pretty much this is exactly the same view as you've had before, apart from there's some different cloud endpoints and that's it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
as a tenant admin, I would like to add, when you have a container service extension installed on the CDS and your endpoints, you can view all the Kubernetes cluster over here and activate or deactivate those clusters to deploy those apps. So without additional steps, you can deploy the containers from App Launchpad and expose it as a service.
So you're deciding here what clusters the applications can be deployed into.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. All right. That's awesome. Okay.
Yeah.
And then the list of clusters would be available to the tenant user when they do the deployment.
This will be available to tenant admins. They will
Mhm.
decide whether to activate or deactivate the cluster. And as a tenant user, you can go and deploy application on available clusters.
Yeah, the ones that have been activated.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Got it. Got it. Oh, this is awesome. So, in a nutshell, then you've got the same sort of tenant app, tenant app launchpad or app launchpad. You've got the same app launchpad you had in previous versions, now in a SaaSified version. Huge benefits are it's integrated to Navigator. You've got additional cloud endpoints. You've got a much faster zero configuration to do, really.
Yes.
In terms of deployment in any case. It's all done for you, which is really nice. It supports the Kubernetes infrastructures as well, which is fantastic. And I think that's the major differences. I don't,
Yes.
Is there anything else I missed?
No, that's all. Everything is through CPN, and yeah, that's all.
Right. So the message to providers is that this is out there now. It's real. If you want to go and look at it and start using this, then please get in contact with your account reps, and we'll help you through the initial stages of this if needed. And you're going to get literally hundreds of new applications which you can expose to your tenants, making your portfolio much more sticky, which is nice. You're going to get the new capabilities, for actually consuming more, right? Because basically this is designed to drive more consumption of the platform and make the services more relevant to the users that the service provider has. But this will pull through more consumption of VMware Cloud and AWS and Cloud Director Service, because everything's going to use the underlying compute resources that you're selling effectively.
Exactly.
Yeah, brilliant. Sashi, thank you so much for your time today and for showing us around ALP. It's great to see it evolve into a SaaS product, and looking forward to future editions.
Definitely. Thank you for having me.
Thanks a lot, Sashi.